Hello, my name is Graham. I was addicted to pornography for over 10 years, but I found freedom. I wanted to share my thoughts on what I think it takes for you to find freedom. Stick with me, and I want to share with you 3 steps and then break down those steps a little bit more. Step 1, write down how you honestly are doing right now. Step 2, write down where you honestly want to be in the future. And step 3, write down the most extreme path you can imagine to get to where you want to be. Let's talk about step 1 a little bit more, where you honestly are right now. First things first, I want you to sit down, open a journal, and sit and evaluate how you're really doing. Write down the emotions that you're feeling, the thoughts that you're thinking, the desires you have. Just dump your brain and dump your heart onto a piece of paper. This could take 10 minutes for some people. For other people, it takes a week. But sit and write until you feel like you've honestly written everything down that's going on inside. After you've written that down, I want you to evaluate what you wrote down. Are you honestly in recovery right now? What does recovery actually look like for you? Do you have a definition of what recovery is? Any person is in one of 3 zones at any given time. They're either in the recovery zone, where they're doing the majority of the core practices that they actually want to do with their life, or they're in the danger zone, where they're doing a lot of triggering activities or things that lead them to want to go act out sexually or do some type of behavior that they don't actually want to do. Or they're in what I call the relapse zone, where they're consistently acting out in a way that they don't want to, looking at porn, masturbating, hooking up, whatever that is. Next, take out that same journal and write down a detailed summary of your actual routines in life right now. For a long time, I wasn't actually honest about my routines. When people would ask how I would spend my time, I would tell them what I wanted them to hear. Like, oh yeah, man, I go to the gym every week. I'm spending time in the Word and meditating every morning. I'm eating healthy. But if I was actually honest about how I was spending my time, I was consistently sleeping in way too much. I was going out and eating Panda Express and Chipotle every day for lunch and having leftovers for dinner. I wasn't actually going to the gym. Just be honest about what your actual routines are right now. You also have to identify where you are putting your identity right now. Is it in performance? Is it in girls? Is it in guys? Is it in anything besides the Lord? You have to be honest with yourself here too. Last but not least, you have to identify your emotional triggers. Every person has them. There are certain things in life that will set you off. Like for me, it's whenever I feel like I'm shown to be inadequate or not enough in a certain area. Like if I'm in a meeting with a bunch of people and someone speaks over me and shares a better idea, boom, I'm emotionally triggered and I want to go look at pornography to feel strong and feel good. Okay, so now that you've written down how you honestly are right now, I want you to write down where you honestly want to be. Write down the boundaries in your life, the curfew that you want to have, the things that you want to eat, the way that you want to look, the people you want to have in your life, when you're allowed to be on your devices like your phone or your computer. If you haven't written these things down and thought through what they actually look like, you're never going to find freedom. Next, I want you to write down 30 reasons for wanting to be free. After you've written down these 30 reasons, read them out loud to yourself every single day to remind yourself of why you actually want to walk in freedom and walk in purity. Human beings have an incredible ability to forget the things that actually matter the most to them and get caught up in a million other things. So we have to remind ourselves every day of what is actually important and what actually matters to us. Last but not least, I want you to write down what you think the most extreme path is to get you to where you want to be. For me, this meant calling one of my friends on the phone, not just texting them, every single day and being brutally honest with them about how I was doing, the thoughts I was having, the feelings I was feeling, and the actions that I was doing. And I invited them to ask me whatever questions they wanted during that process. I did that for over a year, and I still call some of those friends on a weekly basis. That very same friend, call them when you're feeling tempted. Every human being experiences about a 7-second battle when they're about to do something that they don't actually want to do. They'll think, man, I really want to do this, but I know that I shouldn't. And that little process takes about 7 seconds. And that is the exact moment that you need to call your friend and ask them to pray for you and ask them to ask you what's going on so that you can get through it. Here's a tricky part. I want you to write down a report on yourself every single time that you act out. There were certain times that I did this several times a day because I was acting out several times a day. I had to write down all of the things I did in detail, write down how I was feeling that led to those things, the thoughts I was thinking during those things, and I began to gain great clarity about why I was doing those things. A few years into my journey of trying to find freedom, I threw my phone off of a cliff. Most recently, I gave my parents the password to my computer so that I couldn't even access it myself. And what I'm saying is you need to completely cut off any access you have to any type of pornography. Make sure you don't know the password to your phone, your friend's phone, your wife's phone, your husband's phone, whatever it is. Completely cut it off. Read your Bible every single day. Even if it's just one verse, if you can begin developing a habit of getting in the Word, not just knowing a whole lot of stuff, but a habit of I'm sitting down and opening up this book every day, that is going to lead to a lifelong change. Memorize one of those Bible verses every week. If you can actually begin to internalize those in your heart and in your head so that you can recall them without actually opening the book, that will allow you to begin meditating on those verses, not just having them as some cerebral fact in your brain. Another thing I had to ask myself all the time, what would Jesus have to say about the thought that I'm having right now? Because there were a lot of thoughts I was having that I was like, I don't know if this is actually a lustful or bad or sexual thought. But as I began to ask that question of what would Jesus think about this thought, it brought great clarity to a lot of things that I didn't realize were sinful and harmful to me that actually were. And last but not least, get therapy, get counseling. There's often a lot of unaddressed wounds or hurt that are deep inside a person that lead to them coping with sexual content. And a lot of times you need a professional to help you understand what's going on inside. If you don't understand what's going on underneath the surface, the things happening on the surface will keep on happening. If you've stuck with me this whole time, you'll probably feel overwhelmed by all the things that I just mentioned. All the stuff I did over the process of 2 or 3 years. Some people could probably do this a lot faster, but I would encourage you to take it as slow as you need in order to do these things well. If you do all these things, I can guarantee that you'll be at least one step closer to freedom. And as I always tell people that I love, you got this, and God's got you.